We have many options when dealing with routing table entries. With directly connected routes, this means the router is directly attached to the network, and as long as the interface itself is up, the router will have that interface and the network ID in its routing table automatically. An administrator enters static routing manually. You can use static routes as a method for determining destinations, but it is highly recommended that in a larger network, you try to use as much dynamic routing as you possibly can. The reason for this is that static routing does not have a whole lot of fault tolerance if a primary link goes down. I'm not going to have this many options for automatic recovery as I would have with dynamic routing. Dynamic routing is a function of routing protocols that dynamically pass information from router to router about local routes. So any routes that you're directly connected to are automatically going to pass to routers that are around you. In addition, any information that is learned from routers around you can be passed along to other routers until finally the entire network is known as converged, where all of the routing tables throughout the entire network could become synchronized. Once this occurs, every route to every destination, large or small, is known by every router, and that means that every client, server, device that must communicate on the network has a very good chance of being able to move data to their ultimate destinations. We can also have default routes, which are typically done especially at the ISP edge, where I must go out to the internet. I do not know, nor do I want to maintain, the entire internet routing table in most situations. There are some situations where I will, by utilizing a routing protocol known as BGP, but that comes in a much later discussion. For this topic of conversation, there will be times when a static route is used as a default to encompass everything that is not known. A default route is statically or dynamically learned when there is no explicit route to a network. I will not have explicit routes to internet destinations, and so typically a default route is used. A default route is always in the format of 0.0.0.0 to cover everything, sometimes known as a zero route or a gateway of last resort. What that will do is provide me with the information needed to match on something that's not exactly matched upon in the routing table. Anything that it does not match directly can be sent to the destination pointed to in the default route.